What happens when a dog suddenly disappears, only to be found hiding in his old kennel with a startling secret? This unexpected discovery prompts his worried owner to make an urgent call to the vet. The story begins with Anne and her 4-year-old German Shepherd, Max. Every morning at 7 a.m., Max would eagerly wait for Anne, ready for their daily walk. But today was different. The hallway was silent, and Max was nowhere to be seen. Concerned, Anne called his name, but there was no response. She searched the house and eventually made her way to the backyard. There, she spotted Max peeking out from his old kennel. This was unusual because Max had never liked the kennel and always preferred staying inside with Anne. Even more unsettling, instead of his usual cheerful greeting, he simply gazed at her with sad, weary eyes. Anne's heart sank as she realized something was wrong with her beloved dog. Max, usually so full of life and kindness, now seemed withdrawn. When he refused to come back inside, Anne brought his food and water to him. But every time she got too close, he growled, wanting to be left alone. It seemed like he was hiding something in his crate. Anne watched anxiously as he took mouthfuls of kibble, disappeared into the kennel, and then reemerged, watching her warily. This strange behavior continued, so Anne woke her husband, Roy. Seeing how Max was acting, Roy agreed something was definitely wrong. The next morning, Anne saw that Max was still in the kennel, looking tired and scratching at his ears. Worried, Roy called the vet. When the vet arrived and took a closer look, they discovered Max was infested with fleas and his inner ear was bleeding. Max had both fleas and ear mites, which caused him a lot of pain. The vet prescribed ear drops, topical treatments for his ears, and chewable medication to get rid of the fleas. Relieved to finally know what was wrong, Roy and Anne took Max home and started the treatment. However, they faced a new problem. To prevent further flea exposure, they kept Max out of the backyard. This change made their usually happy dog anxious and restless. They tried to keep him busy with toys and playtime, but Max's anxiety only grew. He started clawing at doors, chewing on walls, and refusing to eat, drink, or sleep. Watching their beloved dog struggle, Roy and Anne knew they had to find a way to help Max feel better and adjust to his new routine. That night, just 5 hours after they got home, Anne and Roy heard the doggy door creaking. Puzzled, they hurried to see what was happening. Max had managed to break through and was making a beeline for his kennel. Roy and Anne followed, stepping into the cool night air. As they reached halfway across the yard, Max suddenly stopped, fixated on something in the darkness. Then they spotted them, 2 pairs of shining eyes disappearing into the kennel. Max, feeling protective, charged toward the kennel. Roy raced after him, but it was too late. Max vanished into the depths of the kennel. There was a sudden uproar. Growls, barks, and strange sounds filled the night. Then, out of nowhere, 2 raccoons darted out of the kennel with Max Pot on their tails. The raccoons dashed over the fence and vanished into the darkness. Gasping for breath, Roy and Anne caught up to Max, noticing fresh wounds on him. Despite his injuries, Max stood firm. They tried to lure him away from the kennel, but he dashed back to it. It was evident that the night's events hadn't lessened his attachment to the kennel. Concerned about the risk of rabies, Roy and Anne decided to return to the vet with Max. Just as Roy was about to enter the kennel, Max emerged with something tiny and fragile in his mouth. A weak 1-month-old kitten. It dawned on them, Max had been guarding this little one all along, showing his protective side in the most unexpected way. They rushed both Max and the kitten to the veterinary clinic. Dr. Anderson, surprised by the new twist, performed a thorough examination on both. Max received a rabies booster to prevent any potential infection. The kitten, now named Chester, was in critical condition, suffering from severe flea and mite infestations. Chester needed to stay at the clinic for proper treatment and nutrition. The days that followed were tense for Roy and Anne. Separated from the kitten, Max became increasingly anxious and restless. Meanwhile, Chester slowly began to recover. His fever subsided, and he started gaining weight. Finally, the long-awaited day arrived when Chester was declared healthy enough to go home. Anne decided to adopt Chester, and when she brought him home, the reunion was truly heartwarming. Max's behavior transformed from odd quirks into a profound bond with the tiny kitten. What once seemed puzzling turned into a touching story of compassion and resilience. Roy, Anne, Max, and Chester embarked on a new chapter together, embracing both the joys and challenges of their growing family. Their home, now filled with love and compassion, became a testament to how unexpected bonds can bring profound beauty into our lives. What an incredible story! If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a comment below. See you in the next video.